Howdy, howdy, everyone. This is Konstantin, and welcome to Inside Russia. South of Russia, Rostov-on-Don, and I would like to give you tons of information today, personal information, talk about who I am, why I stream, where I come from, what my values are, and why I say things that I say. If my mods could give me 5x5 and Lorna and Yarn Prepper are here, thank you so much. You can see and hear me well. That's excellent. My friends, welcome. Yet another daily update, and I've decided to make a little different stream today. Different because I speak of changes, of things unfolding in Russia, things that happening in Russia every single day. And sometimes I just give facts, sometimes I give my opinions on things, and at one point I started wondering, there are so many new people on the channel, there are so many new people in the streams every day, and not too many know my story, not too many know where I come from and what I am about. And I've decided to actually fill this gap, so to speak. I would like to speak about myself, of things I like, things that I stand by, and have a little personal stream. I hope you like it. I hope you will find it interesting. And I hope that explains more of why I say things that I say. Without further ado, let's do it. I'm having a great tea again. It's Earl Grey from Sri Lanka. Excellent stuff. Excellent. South of Russia is getting a little warmer. It's a crazy year. Usually, late May is full blown summer. Usually, it's in the high 70s, low 80s. Not this year. Cold. Gets down to 50s at night. Unheard of for late May. But every day it gets warmer and warmer. Moscow, not so much. North of Russia, St. Petersburg, and that area, still cold. Whoa, well, at least we're having a little warmer weather these days. Okay. Where do I start? I'm 46 years old, and in my adult life, I consider my adult life, started when I was 20, when I turned 20. So my adult life is 26 years old, 26 years. I've had pleasure of living in different countries. The United States of America, 9 years. Uzbekistan, couple years. Ukraine, about a year. And Russia. The rest of time is in Russia. In Russia, I lived in Moscow. St. Petersburg, well, I didn't live in St. Petersburg, but I, at some point, for about couple years, for 3 years, I had my own company, my own business, and our headquarters was in St. Petersburg. My partner actually resided there, and we had the head office in St. Pete. I was in Moscow, but I spent quite some time in St. Petersburg. So I know, and then of course Rostov. Rostov, overall, out of those 20 years of adult life, I spent about 5 years, 6 including the COVID time. So I've been around Russia, I've been around the world, and I traveled to about 35 countries, just, for leisure, for business, all over Europe. My parents lived in Prague for 10 years. I visited them quite often. I would just take their car and I would drive around to Austria, to Slovakia, to Germany, nearby countries. I Used to go and ski in Switzerland quite often in the past when I was single and much more well-to-do than I am now. So that just gives you a little outlook on who I am. I'm well-traveled. I've seen things. I've seen how people are in different countries, and I've seen how different countries, different societies are organized and managed. And that makes me very different from the rest of Russians. Most of Russians haven't been outside of Russia. I would say 3/4 haven't been outside of Russia. And perhaps they're just very few traveled, very few of them once or twice in their life traveled to Turkey, to Egypt. It's not even considered, just to be outside. But anyway, I would like to tell you more about my period of living in the United States because that was, I think, the most important part of my life that made me as a person and helped me create my values. That's what I stand by. I was born and raised in the USSR. Large family, very loving parents, loving grandparents, very poor parents and grandparents, but just like average in the USSR, we were all poor. My parents were not communists, so therefore they did not have a chance of better life. The only people who somehow could feel well in the USSR were the communists, the members of the Communist Party. And boy, my parents didn't like the communists. So they didn't have a chance. I was going to school, graduated school with highest honor, the medal. Was accepted into a local university, and then I had a chance to study in the United States for 1 year, and I certainly did not miss that chance. So when I had just turned 20, I packed up basically a gym bag full of clothes. Well, not full of clothes. It's just a couple changes of, jeans, couple t-shirts, underwear, that type of thing, and that's it. I had like this tiny bag, really, gym bag, and I flew to the United States. I flew to Washington D.C. Then I flew to Davis immediately. Davis in California. It's a little, I think it's either west or east, I don't remember, of Sacramento, about 10-minute drive. It's a college town where University of California, Davis located, and this is where I started my American way, so to speak. I spent summer session there, moved to Maine, University of Southern Maine, right here. I spent 4 years, following 4 years, 1 year, and then I added a couple more years, and then I ended up staying in Maine for a long time, for 9 years. And this is where my values basically were coined. You see, I consider myself a Republican. I stand by Republican values. They are God, freedom, family, and hard work. These values we did not have in the USSR. Was completely, actually very strange, but in the USSR, in Soviet Union, we sort of had the communist values, okay? Not the communist, the democratic values. They're, it's fun. Anyway, I came to the USA and then I learned that these things are that what Republican Party stands by, and I said, you know what, I am Republican. I don't like government interference. The less interference is better. I don't like high taxes. I like freedom. I like God. I like family, and I like hard work. That's therefore makes me a Republican. And I still stand by these values. I swear by them. And these values make my life in Russia really, really hard, because this is not what we have here in Russia. It's not exact same values. Okay, it's certainly not freedoms. many people don't understand me. But anyway, back to the United States. I fell in love with the country, really. I fell in love with the way that people were in the USA, the way of life, the attitude, the American dream, the whole 9 yards. As a young kid, I was imagine 20-year-old kid from a large family travels to the other side of the globe and absolutely alone, absolutely in alien environment, okay, and tries to make it. And that was me, I was thrown into completely alien environment, no language, no culture, knowledge, so to speak, and they said, well, you're gonna make it or break it, and I tried to make it. And I was amazed. I was amazed. One of the things why I made it in the USA is because I embraced everything. Loved it. Absolutely loved it. It was such a big difference from where I had grown up. I fell in love with the rules that American society lived by, the Constitution, the Bill of Rights, the right to carry guns, own and carry guns, the right to have your own opinion, the right to speak up, free speech, the right to have your opinion. These things were so different and they were so priceless to me, a young kid, for example. First thing, like every single American would teach me was, if we were speaking, trying to discuss thing, and I would have a different opinion, then almost every single person would say, "Hey, I have a different opinion. Because you're a foreigner, you gotta know something. I have a different opinion. I think you're wrong, okay? But you have a right to have your own opinion. You're entitled. And I will fight till death for your right to have your opinion, even though if it's wrong. And that was such a gulp of fresh air for me. It was unbelievable. So I loved it. In the United States, and I'd like to tell a little bit more about it. In the United States, I loved traveling. I've been to many states, not to every single state, but I lived in North England in Maine. First, I didn't like Maine because it seemed like a very small provincial place in the middle of nowhere. I had grown up in 1 million people city in Rostov-on-Don, and it was capital of the South, so to speak. We had everything. We had tons of people. All of a sudden, I got into Portland, Maine, population of 60,000 people. There was nothing there. It was quite a difference. But I grew into loving Maine. I absolutely love and adore that state. That's the way the life should be, completely. I miss Maine now, not so much because it's been almost 20 years. But I used to miss it once I left for Russia. Love southern Maine, love northern Maine, upstate. I lived in southern Maine. First year in Portland, I stayed on campus of University of Southern Maine. Then I went to Old Orchard Beach, Saco, Biddeford area. Lived right on the beach for a long time, managed businesses, made a career. Traveled quite a bit. I went to Florida a few times. Loved Florida. Absolutely loved, especially in the winter when Maine was cold, blizzards, nor'easters, would fly to Florida and it was summertime. Oh, I wish we had it here in Russia. Went to Disney World a few times, traveled, drove all over Florida. I went to Tampa, St. Petersburg, Daytona Beach, fantastic places, drove all the way to Key West through Miami. Went to Disney World like 3 or 4 times over the years. So love Florida, fantastic state. Been to Texas, Dallas, but only I was passing through. I didn't get a chance to explore the state. California was one of like probably number one place I've ever been to. Like here in Russia, Ukraine, I love Crimea. Crimea is number one here because it reminds me of California. It has everything. It has like small mountains, it has the sea, ocean, but here it's sea, there it's ocean. It has a replica of Route 1, PSH, Pacific Coast Highway, only like a short one, about 40 miles. Southern California is fantastic. I went to, stayed a couple times in Ventura area, Fillmore, Camarillo. That's where one of my friends lived at the time. Traveled to Santa Barbara. My first wife, we wanted to move initially to Santa Barbara area. We couldn't afford Santa Barbara. We were young and poor. Well, not poor, but not really well to do for Santa Barbara. My first wife was he just had graduated to become a registered nurse, and I was doing pretty well in hotel business, but still Santa Barbara was kind of out of reach. And we thought that Carpinteria, the place right next to Santa Barbara, would be fantastic. Traveled throughout Southern California. San Diego is a fantastic place, Los Angeles. Los Angeles is one of my most favorite places too. Griffith Observatory at night is quite the sight. I really, really want to go at least there once again and to see, enjoy. Still, to this day, I was there last time in 2001. We were invited to visit Tonight's Show with Jay Leno. Jay Leno is a friend of mine. Well, his father was a friend of my friends in Maine, in Haverhill, Massachusetts, because Jay Leno is initially from Haverhill, right? So anyway, he's knew my friends, and then he was a nice guy. He would always welcome his friends or his family friends from Northeast, and then he invited us to visit the Tonight Show. So we went on the show, met a few stars, met Hayden Christensen. Last time, 2001. So we went to Griffith Observatory with my wife, my ex-wife Bonnie, and I still remember that sight. I close my eyes and I see the lights, the millions of lights, and then this huge, powerful city right in front of us is, gosh, that's fantastic. Malibu is one of other places that I liked very much. Went to Malibu Beach a few times. Anyway, the United States is such a tremendous influence on me. I think it's the best country in the world, and people are saying, "Hey, the USA is not the way that used to be like 20 years ago." I still have hard time believing it. I think countries don't change that fast. Well, except for Russia, Russia has changed in three months to the point where I don't recognize it anymore, But I'm talking about other countries, So I really want to go back. I really want to see how changes have taken places. I keep on hearing bad things about California and its leadership. And I was under influence, and I said in a couple streams, I said, you know what, California has bad leadership. And one of the viewers, subscribers, got back and said, "Who told you that?" I said, "Well, I heard that many times." And she said, "Well, you know what, I am a Democrat and I love California. I think it's fantastic shape. It's doing fantastic. And I really like the leadership." And she said, "A lot of your viewers are Democrats and they think that California is fine and it's going great." And I thought a lot, and I thought, she's right. She's right. I should only make decisions about that once I go and see for myself. Just, if not that, it would be premature of me to say that, to make decisions. So I really want to go to California, Los Angeles, see how the city has changed, whether I like it or not, and things like that. So I want to go back to Florida. I promised my kids that one day I would take them to Disney World. My girls went to Disneyland in France, near Paris, with Natasha quite some time ago. And you see, she's 18 now. She's a freshman in college. And Dasha is already a teenager. She's 15. So it's kind of too late to bring them to Disney World. And I really regret, because there's no way we can travel to the USA now. But I hope one day. Michael definitely is good age to travel. 5 years old, perfect. So anyway, back in 2004, I moved back from the USA to Russia. I made a video about that. If you want to learn more, go and watch the video. I made the decision consciously. I had a chance to stay in the United States in Maine or to move to California. And if I stayed in Maine, I'd become a junior partner in hotel business. If I moved to California, I'd be on my own, but I had pretty good experience and I had drive. I had something in my head, I would have made it in California as well. But I decided to move back to Russia because something inside of me was not giving me rest. I was not at peace. My mom and dad were here in Russia, my family, and something was there saying, hey, if you don't move back now, you're not going to move back. You're going to burn the bridges. You're going to get yourself uprooted and plant roots in a different place. And it scared me. So anyway, I made a decision to go back to Russia, and it's been quite a wild ride. A lot of people keep asking me, don't you regret now that you moved back with all this SHIT happening? I don't. I do not regret. I stand by my decision that I made back in 2003. I've had fantastic life, and I've had fantastic life. And what's happened here, what's happened in the past 3 months is, and by the way, today is exactly 3 months, is just life happening, continuing, so to speak. And now I have to make different decisions, different choices. But I cannot go and undo everything. And if I had a chance, I'd still do the same thing, because past 2004, 18 years, they were terrific. I made a very successful life for myself, happy life. Unfortunately, me and Bonnie, my first wife, we divorced. We have 2 kids. Well, life happened. Many people ask me, what happened to your first wife? Life happened to my first wife. She's in Maine. She's been back in Maine for the past 16 years. We still talk and we're good friends. Probably we're better friends now than when we were husband and wife. I met my wife, Natasha, and we had fantastic kid Michael and 2 girls. So things have worked out, for better or for worse. I do not ever regret coming back to Russia. My mom's still here. My dad, well, tomorrow is going to be 1 year since he passed away. I really enjoyed time with them, and it made me fulfilled, so to speak, Now, it's different. Now all of us, we are facing choices. We are standing and picking the direction at which our life is going to go, okay? But this is now. This is not the past. So I do not regret answering many people's question. I do not regret making that decision. I'm sorry to disappoint if I disappoint you by this answer, but hey, I'm pretty much honest. Not pretty much, but I'm 100% honest with you, and I'm not gonna just say something to pacify people. Well, so here in Russia, I have been working for same company since 2004. Took a sabbatical, spent a couple years in Uzbekistan, had my own business. Actually, I had three projects. One was success, and the one in Uzbekistan was success. One, I broke even, barely, and one was failure. So I have experience in not doing well and doing well, everything. I had a chance to live in Uzbekistan for 2 years. Fantastic time, fantastic country, people. It's given me so much experience, so much flavor to my life, because I consider that people, all of us, we do have flavors. Uh, Much flavor or not much flavor, and the lucky ones, they had flavor, like colorful and flavorful life. And I guess I consider myself very lucky because I've got lots of flavor. I've seen places, I've traveled places, and I've made mistakes. Oh boy, if I ever talk about mistakes, that's going to be like 5 hour long stream. But I also have like fails, but I also have victories, successes. And spent 1 year in Ukraine, Odessa, Kiev, Kharkov, Zaporozhye. Fantastic places. I've been to all over Ukraine, Western Ukraine, Eastern Ukraine, places that are on the news, even in the United States, Mariupol, Kharkov. I've been there many times. I know. I've tasted food at those places. I've met people at those places. And it really breaks my heart what is happening there because I know lots of friends, lots of people there. I know how the truly life is, okay? And this is one of the reasons I actually go live every single day and speak up. Anyway, Ukraine was fantastic. Has brought lots of flavor to my life. Russia, Moscow, oh, the imperial city, how I call it now. The city, like the capital of this part of the world. Really mighty, powerful city, fantastic. It's given me so much. I've met so many people. I've made so many good choices, right choices, wrong choices. I don't know. I've dated girls here. I've dated. I dated girls there. I had friends there. Friendships broke, friendships were gained. I had an entire life, in Russia and enjoyed it very much. My life was happy until February, okay? Now everything is different, but my live stream, this particular live stream is not about what's been happening since February, but rather what happened before, okay? This YouTube channel I started couple years ago. I initially named it Letters to King because I was writing lots of different messages, letters. I have tons of family members, friends abroad, and we're constantly asking questions. They asked me to tell how things were in Russia. And I would write all the time to different people. And I was writing to a good friend of mine, King Weinstein of Old Orchard Beach, Maine. And I was writing him about real estate because this guy is crazy he's like the best real estate developer I've ever seen in my life. So he was asking me about Moscow real estate, and I was writing him for half an hour, literally, letter this big. And all of a sudden, I'm thinking, hey, you know what? If I actually share this information with everyone, then it might be interesting. And I decided to make a vlog, like type kind of vlog. But then I figured, hey, who reads like these days? No one reads anymore. So I decided to make a video blog on YouTube. That's how the channel was born. So it was called initially Letters to King because I was writing a letter to King Weinstein, a real person. And that's where idea struck me. And I decided to make videos on how I see Russia, because I felt at the time Russia was greatly misunderstood. Russia was, so to speak, a white spot on the map for many, many people. What I heard from the media, no good. Mostly no good, not right. And I started making videos where I would show how life in Russia was from, so to speak, my point of view, through my eyes. And the channel was not very successful, but it was fun. It was my hobby. You know, grown men have hobbies, most grown men. A lot of men just come from work, come back home, and they sit on the couch, watch TV. Some go fishing, some play computer games, some go out and drink, some, I don't know, go hunting, do sports. Well, YouTube has become my hobby of choice. And basically, it's been taking up all my free time. It's something that I really enjoy doing it. I enjoyed it before. And my channel was small. I think before February, it had about 5,000 subscribers. And my videos would reach to 1,000 views, perhaps, 1,500. Small potatoes. But it was fun. It was fun. The usual suspects were there. I would stream once a week. I would stream with Michael. And I enjoyed life. And I tried to show this enjoyment to you, my viewers. And to see how what we do in Russia, basically. And then February 24th happened, and that changed everything. My goal of my channel has changed to, and then started exploding. It's pretty big now. Nothing changed on my side. I'm still consider myself a small guy, small potatoes. I still have the same team of mods: Lorna, Mommy, Robert Bates, Bob S., Yarn Prepper, Pinball, Harry Potter, and Julie F. Until recently, she's departing the channel because she has too much going on. Same thing. Nothing's changed with this growth of the channel. I might introduce some changes in the future to make it more interesting for more people, but the changes will be gradual, and I am asking you to take an active part, suggesting what would you like to change, what would you like to see, and things like that. So basically, this is what I wanted to tell. Basic things about myself, because there are so many new people who don't know much about who I am and why I say things that I say every day. Now I'm going to turn on the comments, and if you have any questions or you'd like to comment, you want me to answer anything, then I'd be glad to do that. Before I do that, I'd like to thank you, my mods, for coming again. They watch my back every single day. I do streams daily, and they never miss. They also do daily streams. They work even harder than I do, because they watch. They keep this live stream chats organized. They look for bots and things like that. Anyway, before I do that, I would like to remind you that every Friday I do private live streams for patrons only and for sponsors only. 1 hour stream for patrons, 1 hour stream for sponsors. If you want to hear me speak about personal things more, then please join a sponsorship program or Patreon. And that's not much, but you can pick up the entry level of support, just a couple bucks, and then you'll be able to get access to those streams Friday in the afternoon, Eastern Standard Time. This Friday I plan 2 streams, one after another. I also do daily streams, daily updates on what happens in Russia. Don't really want to talk about it today because it's a different topic. It's more about me. I'd like to answer more personal questions. But if you want to hear something about Russia happening in Russia, then every single day, basically, starting tomorrow. Um, Also, I'd like to remind you, if internet gets shut down, YouTube is still doing fine in Russia. It hasn't been blocked, and Russian government stopped talking about it being blocked because it uses YouTube itself to deliver its messages. So, but in case it gets blocked, Russia is very unpredictable. I want to ask you to sign up for my Telegram channel, Inside Konstantin's Russia, where in case worst comes to worst, we'll keep communicating with each other. At least you'll get updates about me, what's happening inside here. And I think this is it. I would love to hear from you. I would love to answer your questions. Please keep this chat clean. And I will finally read something from you. Oh boy, I love this part. I absolutely love getting your feedback. This is what live streams are about for me. Not just me sitting and looking at the camera and talking about things, but actually reading your comments, and that's fantastic. The comments are on. Again, please keep them clean. Keep this chat clean. Let me. Reese Gray, as usual. We have about 1,400 people watching right now, which is fantastic. Thank you for joining. The usual suspects: Thomas, Joe Ben, Krista, of course the mods, Mommy, Yarn Prepper, Lorna, Robert Bates, Bob S, Yarn Prepper, Susan Gitz, Miss Me, Golden Griffon. Griffon and Dirk are very old subscribers. The usual suspects, I call. Basically, were from the early days of the channel when it was called Letters to King, when no one knew about this channel. These people, Golden Griffon, Dirk, they were here. Mommy, Lorna, of course, they were like from the day one, I think, of Letters to King. Bruce, Longworthy, Susan, Catherine, Frank in Texas. Reese Gray, thank you for the super chat. Thank you for the message. You are the first one as usual. Hello from Canada, Mr. Popular. Now, all I want to ask you about is your views on current political situation in the USA, but this isn't time or place for that. That's okay. I still can answer, Instead, I'll send my usual support. Thank you for the support. Thanks for the messages. And it's okay. I can answer. I think the United States is very challenged right now. And the biggest problem is the rift, the chasm that is growing between the people based on views, political views, Republicans and Democrats. And I think that the only recipe for success of the country is when the Democrats and Republicans come together and work as Americans, not as opponents, I don't really understand how they've come to this chasm, and it seems like chasm is growing. Obviously, Democrats are going to lose the elections, this coming elections. We're going to see who wins, what Democrats, what Republicans win. The United States is going into a recession, it seems like. Of course, situation in Russia is not helping. But America is the country where people are very resilient. Even if they fall down, they get up and they come back even stronger. And this is the American spirit. And I still think, and I still hope it's alive. So I think the country is going to survive, is going to prevail, and is going to come out on top. But definitely, this biggest problem is the chasm that's growing, If you want me to see your comments, put them in, read the comments, and if you have questions, put them in caps. Much easier for me to read. Exploring with the Zuinas, the usual suspects, the serial super chatters. Thank you so much for super chat, and thanks for coming back here, being here all the time. The other day I thought you'd hit 1000k by November. It looks like maybe next week or two. You know, this is crazy, okay? Just a couple days ago, we were working, me and Natasha, and most of you were watching the stream, okay? It's just Saturday streams are light-hearted streams where I take my mind off current political and military events happening in Russia, and I try to stay sane. I try to actually unload my mind of this heavy thoughts. And I take Natasha, we go out and we just, try to have a good time. And I was saying, hey, let's make a contest. Who says, who wins, who's right on when I hit 100,000 subscribers? I thought I would hit in late July or in August, in the summer, late summer. And it was 3 days ago? Saturday, 4 days ago. Now it looks like I'm gonna hit in 3 days. Okay, that's just... the heck is going on? Whoa. Yeah, thanks. Thanks for the message. Well, it's certainly pleasant. Natasha convinced me we should celebrate. I didn't want to celebrate because it's kind of sad days in Russia. But she convinced me there'll be a little celebration. The button I will get by mail probably in a few weeks, if not months. If button was coming from the USA, then I would not get it because there's no mail between Russia and the USA now. But as far as I understand, it's coming from Ireland. Okay, and it's gonna take, and it's coming by mail. It's gonna take a few weeks. There was another message, right, from John Wakamatsu. How are you from someone who lives in Los Angeles? There's always different political views, even within families, and everyone has a right to their opinion. And that's what I love about the USA. Everyone has a right to their opinion. You see, in Russia, we've lost that. In Russia, people keep asking me, whose side are you on? Whose side am I on? I'm on my side. I'm on the side of regular people. I'm on the side of God, okay? No, you cannot do that. You have to be either with us or against us. That's what they say. Literally today, I had 2 people that asked me that and told me that. Twice. 2 separate people. And trust me, that's just not good, okay? Everyone has a right to their opinion. That's what I love about the United States. Los Angeles. John, tell me, how do you like Los Angeles? What, overall feeling? Is it getting worse? Is it still great? What's happening? I'd like to hear your opinion. RW, thanks for sharing yourself. Thank you for the message and thanks for the super chat. Much appreciated. James Rhodes, I want to leave California, looking at Nevada or Arizona. You see, that's another opinion. You want to trade places with me? I will go to California, you come to live in Moscow or Rostov. How about that, huh? Bob asks, thanks for asking to click and become the sponsor of the channel. Michael Milkowitz, please include me in prayers. I have new cancer. Oh, shoot. And we'll need to go through chemotherapy and radiation again. Michael, I'm sorry to hear that. Including you in the prayers. Michael Milkowitz. I'm sorry to hear that. My dad had cancer back in 2004. He had a surgery, had 5 chemos. He forgot about cancer. Cancer never came back. He was totally cancer free. He died of bursted aorta of his heart. It's completely different. Nothing to do with cancer. I hope you recover. We will pray for you. I will pray for you. Denmark, Boquist. Hey, from Denmark. The reason I know it's from Denmark is the Danish currency, DKK, Oops. Robert Bates deleted the message. If you want to me to hear the message and me to answer this message, then please email me. Pete Christian, $5. Thank you so much. Thank you. Appreciate it. Much needed. Much appreciated. John Wakamatsu says, I will never live in a country without freedom of speech. Russia was not bad until recently. Russia, believe it or not, had freedom of speech, had free press. But everything changed. It started changing over the past, I'd say, 7-8 years. But still it was okay. Still it was livable. February 24th, everything changed. My works changed to the worse. Everything's changed, screw that. Constantine. It was a fight to get to the chat. Very difficult, but I made it. Says Morning Light. Well, thank you. Thank you. The usual suspect, Great question from Pete Christian. Hang on. Pete Christian. There you go. Pete from Asheville, North Carolina. A question about butter from yesterday. I thought Russia had a thriving dairy industry. Why are prices for butter higher? First of all, about the butter, okay? I think that I'm gonna get loaded by hate videos, hate discussions, hate comments for this butter thing, okay? Well, guess what? I'm making a video about butter. Walk through a supermarket showing you. And I stopped by a different supermarket, a discounter store where usually people with lower income go to check out the butter situation. And guess what? Butter is in the log boxes. You can even get your hands on butter. If you say, hey, I want butter, a cashier stands up, goes behind the counter, gets the box, gives it to you, okay? Butter is getting bad all over the country. Why the prices are so high? Well, yeah, that's fairly simple. Prices have gone up for everything, not just the butter, everything, since the 24th of February. And some hikes were justifiable, some were not, but people were just hijacking prices, raising prices because they could, because they can. Because in Russia we have one new religion, and it's greed is good, my friends. Here in Russia, greed is good. That's why butter is locked up in the boxes. That's why everything has gone up in prices. And some things, they haven't really gone up in prices, but the sellers, they just shot the prices up. That's why. Greed is good. And I hope I answered your question. Couple more super chats. Katerina S. from Czech Republic. Dear Konstantin, good evening from Czechia. I would like you to consider this money tribute to your late date from ordinary Czech, Slovak person. 1969, Banska Bystrica. 30 years later, Praha. I'm sure he is missed by many people. Thank you so much. He is missed by many people in Czech Republic, in Praha. Tomorrow there will be many calls. Tomorrow is, 1 year since well, it's really on the 27th early morning he died. But in Russian tradition, the Orthodox tradition, we have to finish the service, remembrance service of 1 year, by noon of the previous day. Okay. So tomorrow there will be many calls from Czech Republic. People will be calling my mom. Um, yeah, he was a great guy. He's left an impact in the world, and he certainly left impact in Prague. He's remembered there. Thank you for your super chat. Tribute to late dad from Ordinary Czech. He loved Czech Republic. He felt so guilty for serving in Banska Bystrica. Well, I've told that story. Um, he had guilt when I was young, like little kid. I would ask him like, "Oh, Dad, how was Czechoslovakia?" And he would tell me about how great the country was, but he didn't see much as a soldier. But from what he saw that he understood we didn't need to be there. Okay, and he had this guilt all his life, and then he finally moved to Prague. He said, I gotta do something good there. I gotta live, I gotta talk to people. And he ended up from atheist, God brought him there, obviously. He ended up, run into this religious miracle, the healing miracle, became a preacher, and ended up living for 10 years in Prague, in Czech Republic. They lived for a couple of years in Karlovy Vary. There was a church there, and then they came back to Prague. Anyway, Katerina, thank you so much. Thank you. I forgot how it's in Czech. I used to know when they lived there. I wanted to say. Donna Olson from Beverly Hills. Boy, I like Beverly Hills. Rodeo Drive, and not the entire little city or town, I don't know how you call it. The neighborhood of Beverly Hills is so attractive, so cool. California is the best state to live, particularly SoCal, for weather. But if I had to say one bad thing outside of cost of housing, California is overregulated. Headache for builders and business owners, but I live and I will die here. You know what, Donna? To me, it would probably not a big deal, because coming from Russia to California, I would just say, oh, it's so free here. It's unbelievable. It's so unregulated compared to Russia, Hey, thanks for your message. Much appreciated. I understood, the point of view. I think I'm gonna be all right in California. If worst comes to worst, Florida is also pretty good. Donna, thank you. Thank you for the super chat as well. Julia, I always smile remembering what you so appreciated about the Republican Party. Some of what you remember is still there, but some has changed. You see, Julia, thanks for the super chat, and thanks for the message. It's deep message, okay? I gotta see with my own eyes. I'm definitely gonna do that, and I'm gonna make another opinion, okay? Another super chat for $5 from Catherine. Before February, which countries have you visited? Have you ever been to Japan? If you ever go, I'll show you your family around my home country. Thank you so much, Catherine. I had a friend from Japan I went to school with. His name was Hiranao Namiki. Great guy. He kind of gave me an insight into Japanese culture. I like your culture, your people very much. Very unique, very different, but very, I don't know how to say, honorable. Like, very, very cool. I've unfortunately, never been to Japan. Definitely on my bucket list. If we ever go, I'll let you know. Yes, thank you so much. But it seems like a wonderland to me. From what I heard, from what I saw from my friend, he came and we started at the University of Southern Maine back in '96. And he kept on saying, wow, what an underdeveloped country the United States is. And I was thinking, what is he talking about? Compared to Russia, the United States is like high tech of the high tech. And then he kept saying about everything, oh, so low tech. Japan is so high tech. And I was thinking, where does this guy come from? From the moon? From Mars? You know? That's funny. John Wakamatsu, $10. I have life every year except for 2 in Los Angeles. I've lived every year, right? And I have been in many US cities, but I plan to stay here until I die. So it tells me a lot about California. It's not too bad, you know. Some people say it's terrible, but if people consider living and staying there for the rest of their life, that's pretty good. It's just like the movie, To Live and Die in LA, you know. Back in the 80s, there was a pretty popular movie in Russia. Geez, so good. Seattle is great, 1979. Well, great name. $20. Thank you for the super chat. Thank you. I think I missed a couple. Now let me just... Julia, yes, investigating for yourself is exactly the right response. Well, I've made mistake on relying on other people's opinions, and the thing is, everyone's opinion is different, and every person is different. So I definitely gonna see for myself. Kathy, Constantine, when were you in the Key West? 1998, February 10th, I believe. We drove from Miami to Key West, stayed in Key West, drove back. That's a pretty cool question. Miguel de Benito, what is normal day like in your life? I have about 10 minutes left, making a little longer stream. That question is I'm gonna write down because I like it. Normal day is like... you know what? Probably gonna make a video of Q&A. That's a good question. It's too much to talk about in the stream, but basically I wake up, I work. I work. I finish with my daytime job. I start doing YouTube. Work. Hang out with kids, wife, do errands, do a stream, go to sleep. Pretty much it. But thanks for the question. I will answer that in one of the coming videos. Andrew Leplum, in California, I hear you, lived all over the USA, missed California badly after 12 years, came back 10 years ago. Through huge problems here, but there's something about being back on the soul you grew from. Andrea, thank you so much. Excellent message. Thank you. I just want to go back to California, drive around places I've been to, go to Griffith Observatory, see that view for myself again, It totally not Daniel. You think the new USSR and DPRK, I don't know what DPRK, will become best friends again? Is it the United States of America? USSR, DPRK? I don't know. I don't think the new USSR will become good friends with anyone, There was a question about, I really liked, countries I traveled, which countries I traveled since, I forgot, hang on. From Costa Rica. Wow, Costa Rica. Never had anyone from Costa Rica before. Thank you. Adrian Gutierrez, right? You touched my heart with your story. Here in Costa Rica, the few Russians I know, they're wonderful persons. Have a friend here. Well, I actually know quite some people who actually went to Costa Rica, moved from Russia to Costa Rica because you have such a like a paradise-like country. That's what I heard. Weather, the jungle, the rainforest, the waves, the ocean, everything, you know. A lot of Russians actually moved over the years to Costa Rica. I'm sorry. I don't think I've missed anyone. Did I? Like no streams? No super chats. Debbie Bruno just sent $10. Thank you so much. Number one fan. Thank you. Message is strong enough. And look, number one fan. I think Lorna and Mommy number one fans. And I think there are like many people who claim they're number one fans. But you're also one of the number one fans. Okay. Thank you so much. What's your favorite fast food? Pulled pork sandwich. I don't know. Just anything that's tasty. I'm not really picky, you know. I like Kentucky Fried Chicken, chicken wings, hot wings, like anything hot. There was a question how many countries I traveled to. I counted once. I traveled in my life. I traveled to 35 countries. Been to all over Europe, well, North America, obviously, Africa, some Asian countries all over the former USSR. I like to travel. I really enjoy it. I like to stay in the countries, not just a tourist, but a little bit longer to see what the life is like on the inside, you know. Alexander Johnson, $50, and there is no message. But this message is very strong and powerful by itself. Thank you so much, Alexander. To answer your question, DPRK is North Korea. The USSR, the new USSR will not have any friends. It's a sad story, actually, but Russia has had many friends, and like I said in my video, that Russia is no more. This is a new country, and it's going to, as far as I understand, it's going to increase its land. I don't know why, and no one is asking me as a Russian citizen of do I allow to other parts of other countries to be joined to Russia. I don't need that. I think that we have no right and we have no interest in doing that. But no one is asking me, and this is going to be a new country, really, and I don't think it's going to have any friends. Because friends are earned. Friends are friends not because you are big and strong, but because you behave in a way that other people, other countries want to become friends with you. And if you don't have any friends, you know. If you're a bully, I found Waldo. Did he mention life on the inside lane? I'm not sure what's the inside lane. If it's in Russia, then I've been mentioning it for the past 90 days, 90 streams. It's crazy, 90 streams. Lorna, Mommy, can you imagine 90 streams? Jeez. That's 2 years worth of work. If you do a stream like every Saturday or once a week, and if you do streams twice a week, which is a lot of work, that's 1 year, one full year. But for us, it's been 3 months. That's a funny one. Breathas Botke, I want to reincarnate as a that's Capuchin monkey in Costa Rica. That's funny. Deidre May, same offer as lovely lady from Japan. If you ever in Australia, would be honored to show you and Natasha around. Australia, thank you so much. Thank you, Deidre. Australia is definitely on our bucket list. Everything is on our bucket list. You know, we love to travel. Oi, I doubt we will travel in the near future, you know. But thank you so much for the offer. I'm fascinated by Australia. I'm fascinated. You know, a couple minutes left, and I tell you a story about Australia. There's a place in Crimea. It's called Vorontsovsky Palace. There was a count, last name Vorontsov, and he was under great influence from the British Empire. So he tried to make a little piece of Britain inside of Crimea. He invited British architects to build a castle in British style, and I think that's where, in Vorontsovsky Palace, that's where Churchill, Stalin, and the American president, forgot what's the name, Roosevelt. That's where they met, and they signed this treaty that the World War II was over, and their sphere of influences they divided, and so forth, so to speak. I think it happened in Crimea, and I think Churchill stayed in that palace. Okay, so there's Count of Vorontsov, and what he wanted to do, he wanted to take people who were doing time, okay, from the jails, and bring them over and populate that area with people just coming out of jail or doing light sentences, so they could work in the area and they could build new lives. But then something like didn't allow that to happen, and we were having a discussion, and one of my friends said, well, you know what would have been if he actually succeeded and he would bring these people all around Crimea. I said, you know what? That'd be second Australia. That'd be a fantastic place right now, because those people probably hardworking, and they were looking to change their lives, and then they would just start new lives and so forth. So that's Australia is just one of the most fascinating places in the world, and I definitely want to visit. Thank you for your offer, Deidre. I hope that one day we'll be able to do that. In USA, did you ever recreationally shoot guns at a gun range? Oh, you'd better believe it, Wild Wolf Pack. I did, and I did, and I did. If you go and see my video about why the real reasons I left the USA, I think one of the pictures there, me at the range with like guns all over, M16, AK-47, the pistols, love guns. I love owning guns. Unfortunately, in Russia, I'm not allowed. It's illegal. Government hates competition, hates threats. But anyway, Carol, Churchill stayed in the Vorontsov Palace. That's what I was talking about. Vorontsov Palace. Okay. Well, folks, I gotta finish up this stream. I promised the mods to be over by 15 after midnight here. Yes, I would like you to join my prayer as usual. I'm gonna keep it short today, a little different. If you believe in God, please join me. If you don't, then still please join me. I'm asking you, it's just a couple minutes of your time, and consider it not as a prayer, but as sending good wishes and good energy to people who I pray for. Thank you so much. So please join me, Dear God, thank you so much for giving us wonderful day, food on our tables, roofs over our heads, and loved ones around us. Please help to stop the bloodshed in Ukraine. Help to influence people who are in charge of these decisions to whether to stop or continue. Please influence them to stop, fill their loves, fill their hearts with love, compassion, mercy, and soften their hearts so they do the right thing. Please help every single Ukrainian who's been affected by this terrible tragedy. Reach out and help answer their needs, wishes, and prayers. Send angels to every single person in Ukraine, civilians, Ukrainian soldiers, Russian soldiers, so there will be no more bloodshed. Please help all the families that have been affected. Help all the mothers and children. Please help those who are helping Ukrainians now, abroad or in Ukraine. Please also help Russia. Send your army of angels with sharp swords to get rid of demons who have hijacked my country, and send them where they belong. Have angels run my country and make it shine. I would like to ask you to give us wisdom to raise our children in a way that they will not fight with one another, but make a better world that we have made. I would like to ask you to help people who are in my list of who reached out to me and asked me to mention their names because they are in need of your help. I would like to start with 3 kids. Sebastian, Brantley, and Maverick. These children really need your help. Please reach out your hand and comfort them. Give them recovery, give them good health. They really need that, and their families really need that. Also, please touch Shay, Rafaela, her daughter Anna, William, Elena, Natasha, Jake, Michael, Oля, Dasha, Sky, and Bonnie, Rebecca, Melissa, Buzz, and Mary, Jean-Paul, Paula McDonald, Jane, Michael Milkowitz, Marlene, Mikhail's family, Demetrius and Kieran, Maddie and Sharon, Narnian Lady, Susan S., Sabrina Fell, Yarn Prepper, Moby 1, Skipper 09, Susan, Fiona, and Paul Binns. Please answer prayers of these people, comfort them, and show them your glory. Thank you, dear God. Amen. My friends, thanks for coming to the stream. Thanks for being with me. Thanks for asking me good questions. I hope you liked it. I hope I clarified a little bit about myself. If you want to ask more things, personal things, then please put them in the comments after the stream. And if there are enough questions, I might consider doing a Q&A video instead of a stream. So, thanks for coming. And I would like to say that you're absolutely awesome and you rock. Please keep on coming back, and tomorrow we'll speak of Russia and what is happening in Russia. Thank you. Thank you so much. I'll see you tomorrow.